Hey out there, this is Tokyo's very own #1 pirate power station, Jet Set Radio!
In over 40 years of video game history, many games have come and gone, but only a few of them stood the test of time.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Test of Time. Today we'll be taking a look at Jet Set Radio, a game that was first released for the Sega Dreamcast in June of 2000. The game was extremely well received, mostly because of the great graphical style and the awesome soundtrack, and while fighting the law while skating around town, putting your graffiti all over the place is pretty much always a good thing, right? So after 15 years I finally got my hands on the Steam version of this game. Let's see if Jet Set Radio stood the test of time! The two best things about Jet Set Radio stand out from the get-go. The graphics and the soundtrack are amazing. Cel-shaded graphics used to be the big thing when Jet Set Radio was released, and they really managed to get the whole cartoony look just right with this one. Between missions, there's resident DJ Professor K providing you with the beats, and with a soundtrack consisting of everything from punk to drum and bass, it really does a great job of getting you pumped to go out and vandalize some private property. The first thing you see when you start up Jet Set Radio is this opening screen, which sets the mood perfectly.
Jet Set Radio!
I couldn't wait to start tagging the place up. The story mode of Jet Set Radio lets you skate around different parts of Tokyo, looking around for rival tags to make your own. You can even create your own tags. But, of course, just skating around town vandalizing stuff would be way too easy, and you'll soon run into Captain Onishima. A cop will try to make your life a living hell, calling in all sorts of reinforcements. First you'll face the run-of-the-mill street cops, but soon you'll find yourself dodging SWAT teams, tanks and even helicopters. You can choose between a handful of characters, each with slightly different stats. During the story, more will become available after you beat them in a showdown, which is a series of trick challenges that'll teach you some new tricks and some new ways to play the game along the way. You can even beat these by falling flat on your face, so that makes things a lot easier as well. So the foundation of the game is pretty solid and could hold up even today. But what about the gameplay itself? The tagging part is done through QuickTime events, spinning your sticks all over the place. There's 3 different size tags to place, the smallest one requiring just one press of a button and the bigger one is giving you a QuickTime event. And you can even do the smaller ones while grinding. Now that's vandalizing in style for you. The QuickTime event will be the same for every tag in a level. This may seem lame, but because there's a constant danger of catching a bullet or being run over by a randomly spawning cop, it actually makes things a lot easier. Every level does have a different QuickTime event for its tags though. It's too bad that the skating and the level design are a whole different story. The controls turn out to be extremely clunky, making even a simple jump to a rail a challenge in itself. Combine this with a mediocre AI and you got yourself a recipe for frustration. This already becomes clear during the first level of the game. After skating through an empty, useless area of the level, seriously this whole open sewer part takes up about a quarter of the level and it's empty, we meet our new BFF Onishima, who starts shooting right away. May seem a bit much for just skating around town, but I guess he's just doing his job. It turns out avoiding enemies is a pain. Even though bullets won't harm you when you're boosting, it's almost impossible to dodge sometimes, costing you valuable health and time. Sometimes cops will even just spawn out of nowhere, causing you to screw up a tag. There is a little disclaimer I'd like to add here, because I played the Steam version of this game, and reading through the Steam reviews, I read a lot of people having a lot of problems with the controls. It seems that the controls in the original were better, but there's no way for me to confirm this because sadly, I don't have a Dreamcast. I guess it's a good thing the AI is pretty shaky sometimes. The camera doesn't help either, going all over the place when you jump, making it impossible to judge where you're going. Combined with the clunky controls, this takes pretty much all of the fun out of the game. Games like this are all about getting into a certain flow. Skate, grind, tag, repeat. But the game seems to try everything just to keep you out of that flow. Besides the camera and control issues, levels are filled with stairs and other obstacles slowing you down, taking you even further out of that all-important flow. So all in all, the graphics and the soundtrack are still great. The idea of skating around town and tagging stuff is also pretty good, but the gameplay itself just doesn't hold up. If you have some warm memories of the original, it may still be fun to play through it, but being new to Jet Set Radio, I find it mostly frustrating. I really wanted to like this one, but in the end I just can't label it a modern classic. So for me, Jet Set Radio just didn't stand the test of time. It may be a fun trip down memory lane for some, but newcomers better find a copy of Tony Hawk 2. It's released in the same year and it's still one of the best skating games ever made.